3, 2, 1.
Neil, radio check. Neil, this is Houston.
On July 20th, 1969, around 600 million people watched with a mix of excitement and anxiety as Neil A. Armstrong and Edwin E. Buzz Aldrin Jr. took their initial steps on the moon's surface. Neil Armstrong led America to the moon and marked history by being the first human to leave his footprints on the lunar surface. But did you know there's more to his story? Now, after 11 years of his passing, his family revealed surprising truths. From moon steps to mysteries, Neil Armstrong was more than you knew. So let's find out the real truth. Now, we might find it easy, but our heroes had to go through a lot of trouble. Neil Armstrong spent about 3 years preparing for his epic journey to the moon, including training to adapt to the moon's environment. He practiced in simulations similar to lunar conditions, learning to navigate in zero gravity and walk sideways. Armstrong and his partner Buzz Aldrin followed a strict diet and sleep schedule to maintain agility on the moon's surface and prepare for self-sustenance during the mission. Beyond diet and simulations, Armstrong's training included survival across diverse environments like deserts, seas, and jungles. This built his endurance and readiness for moon challenges. They even practiced collecting lunar samples. They mastered photography, mapping, and analyzing samples, and practiced with scientific tools. Field tests at places like the Grand Canyon and Nevada's volcanoes were crucial. On July 20th, 1969, after final prep and briefing, the astronauts were set. But why America felt the need for this mission? After World War II, the U.S. expected to lead in science and technology, but the Soviet Union outpaced them in space achievements. In 1961, President Kennedy aimed to change that by proposing a moon landing goal to Congress. This audacious objective defined the Apollo program. Kennedy's iconic Rice Stadium speech ignited NASA's determination to meet the challenge within a tight time frame.
We go into space because whatever mankind must undertake, free men must fully share.
However, the task demanded a substantial budget. The U.S. committed $25 billion, around 2.5% of the GDP annually for a decade. Project Apollo spanned from 1961 to 1972, though the initial goal was achieved in 1969. While more lunar missions followed, Apollo 11's triumphant landing remains a milestone in space exploration. How did preceding missions contribute to the success of Apollo 11? Apollo 11's success was built on prior missions. Apollo 1's tragic fire led to safety improvements. Uncrewed missions like AS-201 and Apollo 4-6 resolved safety issues. Crewed flights resumed with Apollo 7, showcasing module functionality. Apollo 8's lunar orbit tested systems for the moon landing. Apollo 9 tested lunar module operations, and Apollo 10 was a dry run for Apollo 11. This rapid progress enabled Apollo 11's launch within a year of Apollo 7. So how did the mission proceed? The moon journey started smoothly, but faced a critical moment as Armstrong and Aldrin neared landing. Unlike modern probes, Apollo 11 was crew-piloted. Armstrong's distress call due to a code 1202 error alarmed NASA. Officials quickly assessed the situation to guide the crew. Though trained for challenges, facing this early glitch was intense. Being far from Earth, the rescue was impossible. NASA guided them, but communication worsened, and the computer neared shutdown. The real crisis happened when the service module separated from the lunar module. The spacecraft had different parts: command module, a service module, and a lunar module. The lunar module, the Eagle, took Armstrong and Aldrin to the moon. The command module was their home, and Michael Collins orbited the moon in it. Afterward, all three safely re-entered Earth with Collins piloting. Armstrong and Aldrin tackled the lunar module landing challenge. Aldrin's effort to adjust antennas for better communication failed, showing the descent's complexity. Back at NASA's mission control, re-establishing contact was tough. NASA had two choices: let the computer restart, leaving the astronauts to handle it, or abort to protect them. Amid this crucial moment, they chose to proceed. Stopping was risky too. Armstrong and Buzz faced a malfunctioning computer. They had to manually land, unexpected and challenging. Despite another error code, Aldrin monitored parameters, and Armstrong controlled manually using Aldrin's data. Yet challenges persisted. They weren't at the planned site due to the moon's gravity and ejection force. The landscape was unlike simulations, rocky and cratered. Armstrong searched for a suitable landing site, but the actual landing was rough. Mission Control thought they were on track, but Armstrong and Aldrin were off course. Low on fuel, Armstrong made a last-minute decision to land safely. After landing, Armstrong's message, "The Eagle has landed," marked the end of their challenging journey. But you can never guess what they saw. Armstrong reported a sighting of possible alien spaceships during the landing. Rumors claim he sent a coded message to NASA about it. Aldrin also saw a UFO, but no contact occurred. No video evidence supports these claims, and if any exists, it's not public. Armstrong and Aldrin mentioned these events in early interviews on the moon, but later they either denied or stayed silent. Conspiracy theories suggest they met aliens but hid it. Other astronauts on later moon missions reported odd phenomena, like structures resembling satellite dishes. One theory claims astronauts found an ancient alien spacecraft with bodies, including a female with dreadlocks. And if that wasn't enough, alternate rumors suggest a hidden Apollo 20 mission. Whistleblowers claim it was a US-Soviet effort to explore the dark side of the moon. Retired NASA agent William Rutledge claims involvement in Apollo 19 and 20. Rutledge's account links to Armstrong and Aldrin's moon structure photos. Apollo 15's odd image sparked the secret Apollo Money mission. Inside the supposed alien craft was a lifeless female alien, possibly the pilot. NASA didn't address these claims, even from Armstrong and Aldrin. The idea of moon aliens remains a myth within NASA. Samples by Armstrong and Aldrin showed no alien signs. They explored, took photos, and collected samples as per training. Samples were stored and analyzed in labs. Instruments were set up, like one for monitoring vibrations. This revealed a surprising truth. The moon wasn't inactive but dynamic. Astronauts also left a plaque on the moon's surface, inscribed with their arrival date and a message of peace. NASA set a time limit due to the moon's harsh conditions. They gathered 50 pounds of rock samples, planted the US flag, and captured it on film. The flag's movement sparked debates due to its motion without wind on the moon. NASA explained it was due to lunar vibrations. Whether Neil Armstrong kept information about extraterrestrial encounters is uncertain. Another secret emerged, discovered not by Armstrong but by his widow, Carol. She found a hidden storage bag that had stayed concealed during Neil's life. It contained items like Armstrong's waist tether and utility lights. After the moon mission, Armstrong told Collins about the bag, considering it disposable. Why he kept it for decades is a mystery. The bag held items crucial to his mission role. Maybe Armstrong aimed to protect tools vital for survival. He might have intended to reveal it, but couldn't. Armstrong died on August 25, 2012, leaving Buzz Aldrin as the sole living Apollo 11 astronaut. But his passing, though widely attributed to natural causes, has complexities. There's no link to moon-related hazards. After their return, NASA quarantined them to prevent contamination. So what actually caused his death? Well, Armstrong's death was due to a medical error, overshadowed by misconceptions. Armstrong's sons assert that healthcare incompetence after his coronary bypass surgery at the hospital caused his death. An expert at the hospital also criticized his treatment, as reported by The Times. Despite being described as amazingly resilient after surgery, severe complications arose. Removing wires for his temporary pacemaker led to internal bleeding and plummeting blood pressure. But this truth was never publicly shared. More issues followed until Armstrong's death on August 25, 2012, and he was buried at sea on September 14th. After that, a secret settlement in 2014 resulted from Wendy Armstrong, Neil's son, Mark's wife, and a lawyer, sending a scathing email to the hospital's legal team. She warned of public disclosure about the hospital's role in his death, unless a settlement was reached with the family. The Times received 93 pages of documents regarding Armstrong's hospital treatment and the legal case from an anonymous source, confirming the settlement's details. Some documents are publicly available and verified by The Times. To prevent future disclosure, the hospital included legal precautions in the settlement. If the entire settlement were exposed, funds could be taken from Armstrong's grandchildren. The settlement refers to Armstrong as Ned Anderson, a pseudonym. Bertha G. Helmick, representing Armstrong's grandchildren, emphasized institutions' reluctance to be linked to a hero's death. Wendy Armstrong sought $7 million, but the $6 million settlement was primarily divided among family members, except Carol Armstrong. She clarified her non-involvement. Non-disclosure agreements prevent the family from commenting on the settlement or its recent disclosure. So what do you think of these rumors? True or fiction? Let us know in the comments. With that said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more.